Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. How are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik. The world is full of all types of people, all type, all nature. Some of these people think win-win, and they are the best of the people. They look for their own benefit, but at the same time, without cheating, manipulating, exploiting anyone else. On the other hand, there are manipulators, exploiters, cheaters. So these people are not good for the humanity at all, not good for me, not good for you, not good for anybody else at all. And they have certain clever ways to manipulate, to cheat, to exploit. Very clever ways. Some of these are even more skilled in all that. It is really bad, undesirable situation. We must remain careful and cautious about all that. And despite being cautious and cleverness, despite being cautious and carefulness, sometimes we become the victim of these manipulators. We are seen manipulated, exploited, and later on we feel like I am very much unhappy and very much sad, dear friends. So actually we need to identify them. We need to learn how to somehow deal with these people, how to somehow protect ourselves from the exploitation, from the manipulation, from the cheating, from the all sort of unethical and bad behavior exhibited and employed upon us. So after that, we will be able to become safe of these people. And we have done some sort of study in the subject, and after all that we have come to a conclusion that there are certain ways to deal with these people, to successfully deal with these people. And these things, there are 10 ways actually. There are 10 ways to protect ourselves from the exploitation of these people. What are those 10 ways? What are those clever and intelligent ways which can somehow protect us from these people? Now let's look upon all that one by one. First of all, it is the first thing which we need to understand is trust your instincts. They usually spot on the manipulator. Trust your instincts. They usually spot on these manipulators. Number one. Number two, keep your emotions in check. Keep your emotions in check. Don't let them push your buttons. Do not allow your emotion, do not allow my emotion to push my buttons. So that is, keep your emotions in check. Now the number 3 is document interactions. Document interactions to have a record of their manipulative tactics. Yes, document interaction to have a record of their manipulative tactics. We need to document it, we need to write it, we need to get certain proof of all that. So document interaction. They try to do the same this thing, and they said that thing, they try to do that thing. So that is documenting of the interaction, to have a record of, this is the purpose is to have a record of their manipulative tactics. Now the number 4 is focus on facts. Focus on facts and evidence instead of emotional appeals. Yes, facts and evidence, not the emotional appeal. Focus on facts and evidence instead of emotional appeal. Make it harder for them to manipulate your feeling. Yes, make it harder for them to manipulate your feeling. How can it be done? By focusing on facts and evidence. By focusing on facts and evidence, instead of emotional appeal. Now because they talk to us in an emotional way, they present the situation, certain type of it, in quite an emotional way. So we don't have to become like this one. When you notice manipulative behaviors, Number 5, when you notice manipulative behavior, point it out in the moment. When you notice manipulative behavior, point it out in the moment, and that is assertively express what you have observed. Assertively express what you have observed. Whatever we have observed, you should as express it, and we need to express it not simply, not once, not lightly, but in quite an assertive way. When you notice manipulative behavior, point it out in the moment. So that was the number 5 way. Number 6, establish consequences. Yes, setting boundaries. Establish consequences by setting boundaries. You cannot cross this thing. That is my limit. I will not allow you to come beyond that. I will not allow you to interfere into that. So, setting of the boundaries, that is how we can establish the consequences. Now, the seventh is, don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say no, when necessary. Assertiveness is key. Don't excuse me, don't be afraid to say no when necessary. Assertiveness is key. Yes, when necessary. Assertiveness is key. Don't be afraid to say no. Standing up for yourself is like building a skill. Standing up for yourself is like building a skill. Don't be afraid to say no when necessary. Assertiveness is key. Now the eighth is, don't share your personal information with those people, with the manipulator at all, even if at all you have a very slight doubt that this person could be a manipulator. Don't share your personal information. And now the ninth is, use humor as it can diffuse tension. Break the tension by using the humor. Use humor as it can diffuse tension. Yes, indeed. Break the tension. Now, the tenth and the last is, limit contact and cut ties if necessary. Limit contact, reduce or minimize the contact, or even cut the ties if necessary. So, these are the 10 ways to deal with a manipulator. Let's have a very quick revision of all that. 10 clever ways to deal with a highly skilled manipulator. Number 1, trust your instincts. They usually spot these people. Now, number 2, keep your emotions in check. Don't let them push your buttons. Don't keep your emotions in check. Don't let them push your buttons. Number 3, document interactions to have a record of their manipulative tactics. Yes, they do have certain tactics. Yes, document interactions to have a record of their manipulative tactics. Now the number fourth is, focus on facts and evidences. Focus on facts and evidence instead of emotional appeals. Don't listen to their emotional appeal. Don't pay attention to all that. Don't comply all that. Rather, focus on facts and evidence instead of emotional appeal. Make it harder for them to manipulate your feelings. Now, the fifth is, when you notice manipulative behavior, point it out in a moment. Point it out in the moment. When you notice manipulative behavior, assertively express what you have observed. Not only express it what you have observed, rather do it assertively. Now the sixth is, establish consequences by setting boundaries. Setting of the boundaries is very necessary. Now the seventh is, don't be afraid to say no when necessary. Assertiveness is the key. Don't be afraid to say no. Learn to say no firmly, politely, but firmly. Politely, but firmly. Learn to say no. Don't be afraid to say no. When necessary, assertiveness is key. Standing up for yourself is like building a skill. Now, the eighth is, don't share your personal information at all. Once even you have a slightest doubt that this person is actually a manipulator. Now, the ninth is, use humor as it can diffuse tension. Use humor as it can diffuse tension, tense situations. Use humor as it can diffuse tense situations. Break the tension. Break the tension. Use humor as it can diffuse tension. Now the tenth and the last is limit contact and cut ties if necessary. Limit contact, limit contacts and cut ties if necessary. So these are the 10 ways to control the manipulative behavior and the manipulator, to keep them in check. Thank you very much.